At 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Truth Room Experience. I've got Vikas Muralidharan over here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
So, yeah, you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And you're a lawyer.
Yeah, it's a great combination.
It's a dangerous combination.
Yeah.
Because you can know the legality of jokes also.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I have to be worried about now. Yeah.
So, how does it work, man? Both of them together?
It's really good because I started training to be a lawyer much before I knew that I could do stand-up. And the best part about being trained in law is being trained to speak in front of a crowd and in public. So I think one of my biggest strengths when I started out as a comedian, and this was 2 years back, one of my biggest strengths in comparison to everybody that I was doing it with at that time who just started at the same time was that I was never nervous in front of the crowd. So I didn't have any inhibitions with regards to stage fear or my body language on stage. I was also always very natural on stage because I had that tons of practice just by virtue of being in law school. And that's really important for stand-up. I mean, most of it is your writing. You have to be, you should be funny.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best lines that you thought of will fail miserably on stage just because you didn't deliver it right. And that could be your body language, the tone of voice you use and all of that. So it's very important to get the delivery on stage perfect. And for me, issues with regards to nervousness and voice and body language was never an issue because I was doing debating and these mock trials and all of that.
Which is a very important thing of becoming a lawyer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crucial. So if you want to be a good lawyer and if you take law, if you did law because you want to be a lawyer, you are going to be heavily trained in all of this, and you won't sit away from these classes. You won't run from them. But I think it's a necessary part of going to law school that students are made to train to just speak in front of a crowd. I mean that is your whole profession. You need to be able to speak. You need to be able to convince someone.
So is there like special classes for that? They do it separately?
Yeah, I mean,
Like it's called mock
yeah,
classes or something, like practical classes or something like that?
Yeah, so that would be our practical. So our practical would be the law students' practical papers would be one arguing a case in front of like 3 professors, and 2 it could be writing a research paper or writing a brief or creating legal briefs for cases. So that's our practical. So technically everyone who's been to law school has to have had that experience of speaking. If you want to be trained, you take it too seriously, that's all.
So that actually helped very easily.
Yeah.
Much more easier than other people who would have like, okay, I want to do comedy but I've got stage fear.
Yeah,
I don't wanna do
and that's surprisingly, I mean, common with most of the people who are starting out, because, and for many people it's not just about stage fear. Like they can handle themselves in front of a crowd. There's that doubt of am I funny, and is this going to get a reaction? So that messes with them a bit more.
Yeah, how big of a part is confidence in doing stand-up comedy,
it's
right?
huge.
You can see the most shittiest joke and you can still make the whole room laugh.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've seen bits online where the content of the joke is only there for like 3 minutes, and the remaining another 4 minutes is just talking shit about someone or something, and witty remarks.
Yeah, crowd work is,
the
is,
crowd
is
work,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, but there are also stand-up sets. I don't know if you've noticed. There are quite a few stand-up comedians who incorporate theatre on stage. So it's more of acting out the scene. So if you're describing a scene instead of just narrating it like most comedians.
Yeah, they do the whole funny
Yeah,
thing. for me, biggest example would be Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Orale joke, like he literally plays it out. on
yeah,
stage.
and he's so good at it, right? Because he's really good at really getting into the character, and so at that point, it's a much better description of the scene than a narration, than a narration without, all these little act outs.
Yeah.
So if you're a theater artist who's doing comedy, that's even better.
Yeah.
And there's this one guy in the Chennai scene who's really good at it because he started out as a theater artist. And when you see him on stage, or when he's performing comedy, he incorporates a lot of it into it, his body language and his face, and it works wonders for him. So, I think that's a bigger advantage than just being a lawyer and doing stand-up.
Well, everything has its own advantages, right?
Yeah.
For him, it would be, but I think the common part both of them is that the whole thing about stage fright is removed already.
Yeah.
So the path to actually go in there and put your foot in and just start working on your jokes is much easier for you than the people who come in with no stage experience, because they have to get through that to actually go and concentrate on writing your jokes. They have to deal with double problem at that, and you just have to deal with a single problem.
Yeah, I mean the
simplify it.
Yeah, the delivery part becomes a lot easier. It's just then the writing that you have to focus on.
So it makes it much easier for you. And another surprising thing I learned is that you are the younger brother of Vivek Muralidharan, who I had on my podcast.
Yeah.
A couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no clue you guys were. You don't even look alike.
You don't look alike?
No, you don't look alike, man.
I mean,
no, you don't.
Come on, man.
Well,
like,
no.
if I lost all my hair, and I was a bit more fit, I'd be him.
Aren't you fit?
No, not really. I'm a bit too skinny.
Well, compared to me, you are. Simple as that. You are fit.